Hi everybody, welcome to Path of Peace. Thank you so much for joining me to another video. I have my cards ready and we will be doing once and again some supportive messages for healing or anything that wants to come through. You can let me know in the comments what resonated with you, and soon I will also be offering personal readings. I'm slowly getting ready. So if you would be interested in a personal reading, then you can also let me know in the comments. It may take some time for me to maybe get a website or stuff like that, but you can definitely let me know if you would be interested in personal readings. I hopefully will be also able to create some portfolio, because I have been doing this work for about 10 years now. So I think that there are some insights that I gained on my journey that can be useful for people. But I'm still learning. We are still learning, I guess all of us on this planet. So let's just begin. Let's just begin with the cards. And I also have my prayer candle here. So as we are joining this reading, as we are joining this sacred space, you are also joining this beautiful prayer for peace. This moment of stillness as a prayer for world's peace. Okay, so let's shuffle the cards. And I will pull out some cards randomly and we will see what is the healing message. What is the healing message that we need to hear, or maybe someone needs to hear right now in this moment. Okay, just feel this one and this one. Okay, so let's see what the cards have to say. So we have Two of Pentacles, then we have Eight of Pentacles, and then we have the Resurrection card, or the Judgment card, which is beautiful. The Judgment card, beautiful. With Pentacles, it is usually connected with very strongly with the physical body. It can be connected with our food, finances, how we feel grounded in our lives. Yeah, Pentacles are very practical. It's like get your work done. So with Two of Pentacles is a symbol of trying to look for balance. As you can see the person, there are these huge waves, and then this person is trying to somehow balance themselves. They're almost like dancing or standing on one foot, holding these two pentacles. This is a card that is usually talking about need for balance. That if this card is showing up for situations that are short term, then it's quite good. It means that we are able to manage more things at the same time. Yeah, we are somehow able to manage maybe, some projects, or maybe family and job, or maybe our meditation practice and our everyday life. It is basically when this card is short term, it is telling us, hey, you are doing good. Yeah, you are doing good in navigating and balancing and juggling all these things. However, if this card is more like long term, then it may be time to consider some changes, because it almost feels like it is very hard to constantly balance things in a difficult situation in these big waves. So if you find yourself in big waves, then try to find balance as best as you can. Maybe it's just temporarily and it will be okay. You will be able to settle down. And if possibly you have been in this situation for a long time, then it's maybe like an invitation. How can I get more solid? How can I get more solid ground beneath my feet? Two of Pentacles is also talking about that sometimes in life we experience these inner upheavals, like strong emotions coming up, taking away the balance, or some strong feelings, some strong impulses, whatever that may be for you. And this card is basically talking about finding balance in these emotional processes. And it almost feels like it's collective as well, like these huge waves of energy that sometimes you feel like down and sometimes you feel up, and sometimes there is like this grief, sometimes anger, sometimes joy, as the world is changing so much around us. We are asked to somehow find balance in these waves. It's like learning to surf, learning to surf the waves. What is beautiful is that Eight of Pentacles is talking about hard work and diligence. So it is basically talking about that if there is something that is out of balance, if there are these huge ups and downs, or being overwhelmed, looking for balance, then that balance can be gained, definitely. It can come back by hard work, by determination, by right focus. Eight of Pentacles is also talking about learning new skills or polishing your skills, taking your skills on a next level. So it almost feels like on some level we are asked to become even more resilient and maybe even more skillful in regards to maintaining balance. Yeah, in regards to maintaining balance. For some of you, it can also be that by learning some new skills, you can get better position or something more rooted or more balance into your life. So it can also be like invitation to see what are your skills, what is it that you can do, can you improve it on some level, can you continue learning about that subject, or can you continue deepening your meditation practice. Wherever that you take this, it is about polishing those skills so that you can experience more balance. And for some of you, it can also be like economical balance. Yeah, that if you improve your skills, you can improve your capacity to handle things, then you can improve your financial situation, or you can improve your health, because pentacles are very earthy, very connected with body. And then we have the Judgment card, the Resurrection card, which is beautiful because it is talking about renewal. It is talking about renewal. It is talking about that calling back to life, calling back to balance, calling back to new possibilities, new beginnings. But at the same time, what is beautiful about Judgment is that it is like that inner discernment, what needs to let go from my life and where do I need to focus. It is almost like really seeing maybe some toxic behaviors or toxic patterns It is really like calling back to life and transforming these negative or unhealthy toxic energies. And that's something that is going on in this world. This world is basically going through judgment so that we can become more kind, more patient, more loving, more stable. How can I participate in this revival? How can I participate in this renewal? And there is one more thing with Judgment card. With Judgment card, when we want to see the truth, because Judgment card is almost like seeing the truth. Yeah, seeing the truth for what it is, which means capacity to see the good and the capacity to see the bad as well. So usually what happens with this card is when we are going in our own life through judgment period, it is like this intensified period of cleansing and purification so that we can embody something that is more coherent, maybe something that is more loving, stable. And this is something that is going on collectively as well, that we are being called to purify, to cleanse, to heal, to follow God's will, yeah, which is basically ultimately that love, that coherence, that peaceful expression of life. So do not be discouraged if some toxic things are displaying in your life, because that is usually happening when there is something new right behind the corner. And that there is like this huge cleansing, this huge purification. On an individual level, it can be different for everybody. Yeah, it can be a moment or period of time in that you feel this incredible anger, or sadness, or grief, or maybe you lose your job, or maybe your family fall apart. And there is basically this invitation, as much as it can be painful, this process of judgment, this process of renewal and purification, it is also an invitation to stay dedicated, to stay as much in balance as possible, because these processes are maybe intense, not for everybody, but for many people it may be intense. So it is also about how can I be as best as I can, best to my capacity. How can I be in balance and dedicate myself to balance and polishing my skills so that I can walk through this purification, so that I can walk through this judgment and really start experiencing at least some glimpses of that new life, of those new possibilities. So seeking for balance, polishing the skills, staying dedicated, allowing that purification. These would be the basic hints that you can take from this reading. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate that, and I will be looking forward to connect with you soon.